Is this that JPP podcast?
Would you take a brain pill no matter the cost? Kevin lets us into his brain to talk about late-night bathroom breaks, some TV shows that might be a little inappropriate now, and some tough words. All that and more this week on Just Press Play.
The red wash was excavated. Pregnant ladies and little kids better get the hell out of the way, because I am running. I'm like Forrest Gump, dude. I am running. So, the Titanic was the biggest ship on the ocean, but that didn't mean it was unsinkable. Okay. All right. I want you each to use ombudsman in a sentence next week. I got one for you. My name is Kevin, the official ombudsman of the Just Press Play podcast. You like apples?
So here we are. We are on another week of the JPP pod, and I'm getting to record this. I'm down in Texarkana. We're over here. Me and Pops are recording together. LJ's holding it down in Chi-Town. What up, L?
Oh, just trying to stay warm.
Is it what here right now? It's like 78. It's actually a little warm. Like I was sweating a little bit. What's it like up there in Chicago?
I don't think it's gotten over 50 in like a week. I guess it's sitting at 50 right now. It's been like 40 all day long, and
it's kind of that. Right now, it's been that weather. I don't know about y'all, but it's like you kind of when you leave to walk out the door, you kind of want pants on and jacket, but by the time you leave for lunch or something, it's hot now. You don't want that jacket. You kind of wished you would have been wearing some shorts.
Yeah,
it's an interesting.
The
gap.
Chicago version of that is I've got my kind of thin fleece North Face jacket, and then I've got like my big thick I'm living through winter jacket, and so that coat I put on because it got down to like the 30s or so, a little bit colder than that maybe one day, and then since then it's warmed up a bit, but it's a little too warm for that big old coat. But what are you gonna do? Like go get the other coat out of the closet? No, you're gonna keep wearing the same one and sweat a little bit. So
I think they call that Indian summer. Have y'all heard that term?
No,
I feel like I've heard that before.
That term.
It seemed like I remember that in Colorado, which y'all were very young, or not even existing.
Yeah, some of us were young.
They referred to Indian summer, which would be like when you could build a fire at night, but during the day you probably were shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah, an unseasonably warm, dry weather that occurs in autumn sometimes in the northern hemisphere. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Very cool. Huh. Cool.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
I look at you. Just Pop's dropping knowledge on us once again.
You never know.
You never know
from where it might come from.
Is this, by the way, it's not this weekend. I thought it was going to be this weekend, but something comes up next week. I'm just going to help out all our listeners out there. Our clocks are changing next weekend, right?
Yeah.
Am I getting some sleep or am I losing sleep?
You're actually gaining.
That's my favorite one. Then.
Yeah,
okay, so
but this is my worst.
Yeah,
Why?
I think because last time we talked about this, I was super anti time change, and Dad was super for time change. But I bet if we talk about it next week, we'll have totally flopped.
Wait, why would you not like this? You gain
because it'll be dark. It'll be dark. Next week at 5:30, it's going to be dark.
And you can go start your fire. I know you like to have a fire out on.
But I don't like it when it gets dark early. I wish daylight savings time was standard time all the time. I mean, let it be dark in the morning. I don't mind going to work in dark. I just hate getting off of work in dark.
Well, I bet the people that get up and go work on their cows and do some work out in the field, they like having a little sunshine in the morning.
Yeah, but they don't they don't care. They're not going to change their clock. They're going to wake up with the sunrise. The sunrise doesn't change by an hour,
True.
So that doesn't matter.
But it is awesome, that extra hour of sleep.
I love it.
But that's one time.
Yeah, but it's an awesome morning.
Well, but you get that one time and then it gets dark by the time you go home.
Yeah, but my schedule though, I get if I'm lucky 6 hours a night. And so that one extra hour really makes up for a lot of lost sleep for me. It makes a huge difference to me.
Mr. I want the sun in the night. What do you do when you get off work every day? Do you go outside and do all kinds of stuff? If someone else mows your lawn for you. It's not like what are you spending all this extra daylight for? Just to get to look at it?
I mean, I just like to be outside. Sometimes I water
You can't
the
be
flowers.
outside if it's a little darker?
Huh?
You can't be outside if it's a little darker?
It's not as much fun, no, because, you don't water flowers after dark, really. And
so this is all about you and your water and flowers.
It's not just about water and flowers. I mean, I might want to wash my truck.
Okay.
I might want to.
How often do you wash your truck on a weekday after work? You probably did it on a Saturday mid-afternoon more often.
Well, I mean, you just have something about everything I'm saying. So, you know what?
And also,
I like daylight savings time.
You're throwing out water hobbies that like don't work as well in the winter anyway. Like, are you watering your flowers in December? Or
you probably need to make sure it doesn't freeze, and you not need to bring those flowers inside.
You know, I really
Where you can
like
control
mowing.
the
I'll start
lighting.
mowing my own yard again just to spite you.
Yeah, okay, we'll see.
I used to love mowing the yard.
I like
Y'all
doing
know
it
that.
I like doing it like twice a year, but that's it.
Yeah. I did mow this yard one time. It's kind of big, and there's an area where it's kind of thick, you know, and the lawnmower I did it once.
Yeah.
It's one of those like, I want to mow the lawn, and then you realize halfway through, like, whew,
No,
still
I really
going.
don't. I really don't want to do it. I have a question that will kind of feed into what you just said. So,
fire away.
Yeah,
Right
terrific.
here. Yeah.
okay, you're offered a brain pill. If you swallow this pill, you will become 10% more intelligent than you currently are. You will be more adept at reading, comprehension, logical, and critical thinking. However, to all other people you know and to all future people you meet, you will seem 20% less intelligence. In other words, you will immediately become smarter, but the rest of the world will perceive you as dumber. And there is no way you can ever alter the universality of that perception. Do you take the pill?
So
it's kinda
basically,
like
this
the-
pill just
the
makes you
limitless
pronounce
pill.
words like universality. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, that's what y'all hear. I actually know how to pronounce it.
Right,
but
obviously.
that's what y'all heard.
Well, how would we seem dumber if we're
This is a
smarter?
question, dude. I mean, it's just everybody else in the world will perceive you as dumber. Actually, though, you are, and they're going to perceive you 20% dumber.
Sounds like he took this from Socrates. I don't know if y'all read any Socrates, the philosopher, but
Did you?
What?
He's trying to act like he took the pill. Socrates. What the hell? Socrates.
well, it sounds a lot better now that I don't pronounce it Socrates.
So great.
so I'm the big Aristotle then, I guess.
Have you ever
Okay,
tried
so-
pronouncing Chipotle like Aristotle?
Yeah, like Chipotle.
Chipotle?
So I don't. I somehow, of course, as always, I got us off the track. But
We clearly took the pill.
would you? You're at. Would I take the pill? The answer is yeah. I think so. I don't see what's the why. Why wouldn't I take the pill?
Well, I mean, what would be the benefit of taking the pill? Like, why would you want to take the pill?
I'd be smarter. I'd be.
Yeah, what would you do
Like-
with that intelligence? Like, why is that necessary?
I think it could sounds like it can make me like a better critical thinker. Like I could come up with some stuff while writing, or
Yeah, and everybody's going to think you're dumb. Like,
Well, what's new?
What's
It's October 28th, Sunday. You know,
well, I know, but I'm saying, like, so you get smarter and people actually think you're dumber than they think you are now.
what do you not take the pill?
I think I
taking the
take
pill.
it, but I think it's well, I'm just saying there is like it's not an easy thing. It's not like, well, obviously I'll get smarter. Like, I think part of the benefit of the intelligence is to like use that intelligence, but like, how are you going to use it if everybody thinks that what you're saying is dumber than what they think I'm saying currently? You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
that.
so I remember, and maybe y'all can kind of tell me if I'm wrong or right, but at the end of that, when Dad was fumbling around on that one word, it is saying that we're not going to be able to make like a big impact on the world.
I don't
Not
think it's to that
necessarily,
anything
but-
at all.
people are not going to think that you're intelligent. Like, you still might be able to like. Dumb people come up with intelligent things periodically, and people would think you're just one of those lucky dumb people, you know?
Well, so I could still, in theoretically, like y'all might think I'm not as smart, but I could come up with something that makes me either rich or cures something. Like I could still make a big impact on the world.
Yeah.
And sure, some people are going to think I'm a little odd and not that smart, but you know what? Every genius is kind of looked at a little funny. So
Yeah.
I think I'm taking it.
Oh, I'm definitely taking it. But I think the perfect combination is being smarter than you appear.
Yeah.
Because then people don't take you as seriously. So then when you come up with something, it's like, oh, wow.
That's like the story of my life.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what
I
think
set the
that's-
bar really low.
Yeah, set the
and then
bar.
every now and then I say something kind of like, whoa, there is something going on in Kevin's head.
I think that might be kind of like something we've talked about before, where it's like if you walk into a place with our southern accents, people automatically give us like a couple steps down, and we surpass expectations more often than not live up to it. Yeah. Have we talked about that at all?
I do think so. And we talked about it. And there is something to not when me personally, because it's probably what I've gotten used to, but when other people hear a southern accent, they instantly kind of go, oh, it just seems like not a smart way of talking. Like when you hear a British accent, that person sounds smart.
Right.
You automatically think they're smart.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take it. I agree with all that's been said. It is a little complicated, but I definitely take it.
It's a little more complicated than I was giving it credit for.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
so we all took it.
Yeah.
So the other day I was thinking, I kind of thought we might do a little of this episode, and because we didn't have, it sounded like we didn't have anything big to talk about, and we were just going to kind of shoot off the dome. And I have these notes in my phone I've been taking where it's just, I haven't thought of a good name for this segment, but just kind of random shit that goes through Kevin's head.
I love it.
And it's a scary place. I want to warn all listeners, if you're still listening, be careful, because it could be some really insightful conversations, or you may end up sounding like we sound after the pills, and you might end up being a little dumber. So on to that, my first thought is, and I'm sure y'all have been there before, you wake up in the middle of the night and you realize you have to pee so bad, and you realize you've already like rolled over twice and tried to just go back to sleep, and you realize this time I'm gonna piss the bed again. I mean, again, I'm saying from like when I was younger, not like last weekend.
It's gonna be just like Wednesday.
That again was a little slip there. So let me get it back on track. So I'm going to go use the bathroom. Now I've decided I'm going to get up so I don't pee the bed, but I don't want to wake up, like I want to try to like be able to stay half asleep. So I'm probably not going to turn on lights. But so if y'all have ever been there, what's y'all's go-to way of don't want to wake up? Like, do you just leave the lights off and risk peeing all over the place?
Yeah, I guess what I try to do is we've got like 2 lights in our bathroom, one that's like over the shower and one that's like right by the toilet. And I do like the shower curtain's usually closed, so I'll do the shower light, but still it doesn't work. I mean, I'm just gonna be up no matter what. And then my biggest flaw is then I'll check my phone because I'm up enough. And
that's true.
That's bad. Don't do that.
Bad decision. Yeah,
I would say,
I know it is, and I do it every time though. If I kind of wake up, I go ahead and check Twitter or something, and now I'm up.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
I'd say the thing that I would say is the best advice I could give is just like, don't drink too much after like 8 p.m. or something, and just let that, but that's not good.
But sometimes, it just it hits. What about you? What about you?
What
Pops?
do you? Let me ask.
Let's let some wisdom.
This is something though. Y'all have been there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have an answer.
Okay.
I have an answer to this I want to give, but with LJ's comment, I do want to clarify something. Do I get up at least once every night and go to the bathroom? Is that a thing for y'all, or is it not every night?
Like once a week, maybe twice a week.
Okay. So if I'm on my normal schedule, I'm like LJ is talking about, and I don't drink a ton of water. Like I drink a lot of water during the day, but I just, for whatever reason, as I'm like getting ready for bed, I just don't drink water. And it's not like a purposely thing. Maybe I kind of did train myself to it because I used to get up and pee all the time, and now I don't as often. And it's probably just because I'm not drinking a bottle of water right before I lay down.
Okay. Yeah. Well, all right. So my answer is this. I'm kind of I like night lights. I mean, we have little night lights around the house.
You like a little extra sunlight. You want a night light. You want to be able to water.
I like to live in the light. Show me where the light is, okay?
There you go.
Show me where the light is. But so I like night lights. I don't like it pitch black at night anyway. And so there's enough light for me to get into the restroom. And sometimes I'll even walk to the bathroom with my eyes closed.
Yep.
I won't even open them because I know the way.
Risk stuff. Don't leave something sitting on the floor.
But I don't. I try not to leave things sitting on the floor.
It'd be kind of funny if we just tried to leave it like a Lego in its floor.
And in general, I mean, I'm going to sit down in the middle of the night because that way I've
learned that one. That works.
I mean, you can, because if you don't, you're going to piss all over the bathroom. And sometimes, and this is a fact because I read it in National Geographic, a lot of times when you're in REM sleep, it just happens you become aroused. And so if you're trying to stand and go to the bathroom in a state of arousal, it's going to be a mess. Okay.
Didn't know that's where this was going.
Fair. That's fair though. That is wise sage advice right there. I think you got something there.
And it's a fact too. I mean, I read it.
There's nothing scarier though when you go in there and you try to go, because I tried the no lights so I don't wake up. But when you go to start peeing and you don't hear that water instantly,
that's bad.
Your heart stops a little bit. Like, oh crap!
Because you know what? Then you're up.
And now you're up. Like, shit, I got to clean up
this mess. So,
well, I mean, I don't have a significant other. I live alone, so I can kind of just go out and clean that up in the morning. But that's gross. That happens.
And that's why you have to. I mean, I'm going to tell you, and this boys, I would do this anyway, but put the seat down. Just always, if you go during the day, and you stand up and you go, whatever, put the seat down, because you don't want to at 3 a.m. sit on cold porcelain. That's not what you want to do.
True that. True that.
So
another wise piece of advice.
Yeah.
So I was doing some driving the other day, and it's probably part of the problem with my generation, but me, I think more than just my generation, but like everywhere I go, I put in my maps into my phone. Like even when I'm coming to Texarkana or Little River, I almost always put it in. And sometimes I don't even know why I'm doing it. I know the way, and then I notice sometimes I do it because I don't, and I never learned the way fully, and I hate that. But what I was going to say is when I put it in and it says I'm going to arrive at 4:24, is it just natural instinct you try to beat that arrival time? Does anyone else do that? I'm always like, I bet I can get there in 4:20. I bet at 4:15.
I mean, I use my navigation a lot, so that's actually like the time, because like in Chicago, you don't have a lot of control over what time you're going to get there. You're going to get there when the car before you gets there. So I use that as like an accurate, like I'm going to tell my employer I'm going to get there 5 minutes after this. But yeah, I don't use that as a finish line to try to beat.
Do you put like an address into your navigation to drive most times? Like, are you normally?
It depends. I try to do it without as often as I can, which is not, it depends on if it's somewhere I've been a lot before. Like I've got somewhere to go tonight, and I'm definitely, even though I know like 3 pathways to get there, I'm going to put it in because for one, I'm still going to get the algorithm's going to try to find me the fastest route, which is useful. But yeah, I'll generally put it in, but I try not to.
See, I feel like you're going to say you probably more often than not don't.
I think it is a generational thing, because I mean,
I'm sure.
I grew up reading a paper map, and so I knew that I was looking for this road and I needed to take a right on this road and go to this road and take a left, and so but I do think you hit on something that you alluded to, is that you don't learn the way.
When you point to people on a podcast, the listener doesn't know who you're pointing to.
Yeah, who is you?
The first you was Kevin. The second you was LJ. Okay, so just listeners keep that in mind. If I use you in the first sense, it's Kevin. In the second sense, it'll be LJ.
This is the pill. This is the pill happening. His dad's giving us sage advice. He's killing it, and we just keep making him sound like an idiot constantly.
I think I took the pill.
Yeah,
I think I took the
pill. No thinking to it.
But I would try it. I knew my way. And I mean, I can remember going to Houston with my dad and driving, and I knew the way. So I don't use my nav very much, except, and when you asked that one, LJ, when you asked him, it makes sense. When I was in a big city like Tammy and I'll be on vacation for something, right. I'm navving everywhere because I don't know specifically where it is and how to get there. So I think in a bigger city, if I lived in Dallas, I would probably use it a lot more to get to this restaurant. I think it was in Dallas last time. It was a restaurant, Neighborhood Services, which is if you ever find yourself in Dallas, we had dinner with Ross Perot. Did I tell you that?
No, you didn't.
Well, I mean, he was across the room. We didn't visit with him while we were having dinner, but he was in the same place with us, he and his wife. And,
high class.
I know.
Highfalutin.
I know. But it was a really cool restaurant. But I used that, to get to the restaurant because it was I didn't know that part of it.
Well, and I think you've got a good point, Dad. I think it's like a muscle that you work out too. And like every time you put it into Google, you don't work out that muscle. Yeah. And so you're never going to learn where that restaurant is unless you like have done it like after maybe 7 or 8 times, you start to like, okay, I know the path now.
Right.
But you're not working out the muscle like you would if you busted out your map or you sat there and thought, okay, so it's on 24th. So that means I need to get to where the numbers start or what, whatever.
Well, yeah. And so this thing, and I'm saying this thing, our phones are so cool to have. Like it is super helpful to have something where, like if I'm going to hang out, like I want to go hang out with Cody and I don't know where he's at, he can just drop his location to me and I can just tell my phone, take me there and I can get there. When before it'd be like, I'd have to get, Cody would tell me, so-and-so would tell me, and they'd all say, like, some people are good at giving directions, some people are terrible. Yeah. And I may or may not find it. And then I'm calling them like, okay, I passed this, I go too far. It's just a big pain in the ass. But at least in all of that, now I know that area of town a little bit. Whereas now, for me, at least personally, someone like, I'll be up in Fort Smith, and since I didn't know that area when I first moved there, I used my phone to get everywhere. And now people be like, well, this area where you see that Brahms up there, and I'm kind of like, not really. I need to put it in my maps. And it pisses me off because if my phone were to die, I don't even know where the hell, I don't know how to get to wherever I'm going. And that's annoying.
When we first moved here, I think Hannah hated me for a little bit, which, I'm glad she ended up marrying me. But there was like, because we both were like, we had this palpable, like if we ever have our phone die while we're coming home. How do we get home? So like we'd like leave a train station and I would ask her, which way do we walk? Even though I'd know the answer, I would ask her like, do we turn left or right? And it would just frustrate her to no end. But now she's pretty like she could get home and I could get home too from anywhere. It might, I might not know the best path, but I know a path. You can drop me anywhere in Chicago and I can get home.
And I say that like it's a generation thing. Like it's what I don't think it's what's wrong with all of our generation, because I'm the worst about it, I think, out of my friends, as where I'm just dumb when it comes to navigation. Now, I'll get you anywhere with the phone. You just tell me where you think we're trying to go and I can find it. And I'm a good shotgun rider, but it's just like Lane, you can just tell him somewhere and he can probably find it, or he knows about, like he can see the roads in his head and kind of think, I'll bet I'll take interstate, this interstate exit somewhere near here. And that is just not how my brain works. I'm like, I have no clue. I'll be going to Dallas and I'm like, I just probably should still plug in my phone to make sure I take the right exits. I don't trust myself.
Hey, giving directions is an art, because some people.
Well, we kind of mentioned a second ago. Yeah.
Because if you give directions and you're like, you go to the Tasty Freeze and then there's a Sinclair on the left, but you go straight through that light. And then, you can tell too much.
Yeah.
You can be too detailed. And that is because then you just quit listening. You're like, I don't need to know what's on every corner and intersection between here and the
But I was talking to Andrew about it, and he actually like really loves those detailed directions when he's being told somewhere, because he's like, he'll look out and like try to figure out, like make sure it's like, I think it's like a nervous person versus a not nervous person, where like I think Andrew wants to have like confirmation he's on the right path all the time.
That's part of me too. I'm like, even when I'm pretty sure I know where I'm going, I'm always, there's that thought in my head like, what if I'm going south, or like, what if I'm going the wrong way? I'm just completely hindering my time, where I can just put my phone in and know, okay, I am going the right way, or I need to turn around. And I'm always worried that I might just be going the wrong way, wasting all this time. And I told him I'd get there at 4, and now it's going to be 5. And
but I think like the other thing is like, why would it be a negative thing to use your phone everywhere you go? Besides if you can plug your phone into your car, like, we're out walking a lot in Chicago, so like there's a reason to know. But like other than that, like I don't see too much bad. I mean, there should be people that know how to read maps.
Yeah, that's part of me thinks that too, though. It's like, I know I've talked with Dad before, and he has a point. He's like, just go drive sometime and do it without your phone. And you may get lost, but you'll probably figure it out a little better. But I get that. But then I get in my truck and I'm like, or I can spend 10 seconds and I can find the quickest route and I'll get there in the shortest amount of time possible. It's just, I get why it would be beneficial to me to know how to get around without it. But like you said, I'm probably gonna have my phone on me.
But that's something else that was generational. We love to just get in the car and drive.
I've got a little bit of that in me still.
You do?
I'm a little bit of a holdover there. Yeah, I like to just gas costs too much to like actually do it anymore. But like when I was first driving that car around, that Honda, it was just like, let's just hop in the car, throw explosions in the sky, and get lost for an hour and a half.
We love that. But I was thinking you didn't, because I
like it a lot more when I had a car, not this gas guzzling truck.
Well, true that.
The world's changed since
y'all weren't as excited about getting driver's license as I was either, though. I mean, I turned 16 on a Friday and I couldn't take my driver's test till Tuesday, so I begged them to let me take the driver's test the Tuesday before, and they wouldn't let me. And y'all were not. It just wasn't that.
I think that also might be a generational thing. I mean, like it was hard not to recognize when I was 16 that like this freedom was like way more expensive than like the freedom that I got. Like it was going to cost gas money and insurance money and potentially a car payment. There's just a lot of money involved in making sure I could drive. Whereas like the freedom was still like, I don't know. I wasn't going to like leave town or anything. I wasn't going to go far. I just could go to like the yogurt shop if I wanted to.
You always had friends with cars. I mean, you could get a ride to anywhere you wanted to get.
Well, like Andrew got his car real early.
Yeah, he did well because his mom and dad were gone for a year, weren't they? They moved to so he needed a car.
LJ and Andrew are with each other all the time, and one of them's got a car. So like that's like with Lane, or like I had a buddy that has a car, so I didn't necessarily need.
Yeah, well, and also like shout out. I don't think Kim Alexander listens to this podcast, but if she does, she was the hero that like if I needed to go to Dallas at the drop of a hat, she'd give me a ride. Like it was like whatever. I had friends that would do anything with a car that we needed to. It was a lot. So and then I chip in for gas money. I don't have to worry about paying for insurance or buying a car or anything like that. So it was a lot easier to not.
On my other, I have some more thoughts that go through, and there's some quick hitting ones. This one's another one that's a little bit longer, and then I'll just throw the quick hitting ones that are maybe here. That's kind of dumb, but I was reading something the other day, and it was, I don't think Dad's a big Office fan, but I know you watch some of The Office.
Watch some of it, yeah.
And I was reading Steve Carell talk about whether they would do another Office or would he even be interested. And I don't think he was actually talking about a remake, but someone just asked him and he was talking.
Yeah.
And he said an Office today wouldn't work like that. Michael Scott would not work. If you go back and listen to some of his jokes, they are totally inappropriate. And I agree. And then that got me thinking that there's no probably to it. It is good that we are more aware of things that we can say or do can really bother someone. Like I can make a joke about Dad's religion and it could really upset him and be mean. And so I get why that's a good thing, but it sucks. You can't make a show like I'll link Michael Scott in The Office. It's hilarious, but those jokes are so inappropriate.
Right.
I don't know. It's kind of a double-edged sword.
The first episode is Diversity Day, right? I think. So it's like instantly. Well, and that's another thing, like old Always Sunny. Like that's another show that once that show's done, none of those people will ever want to go make that show again because it's just like so on the line for when it is. And the line, has steadily been creeping to more and more inclusive. So it's definitely hard to like go back and look at these things and judge them on the merits of today. It would be tough to remake The Office these days.
Is that a good thing? It probably is a good thing that we're more aware, but it sucks.
I'm sure it depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
Well, but I think you've heard, the satire thing and
satire paradox.
Yeah. And so certainly, I don't know if we talked about All in the Family, but I think All in the Family, did y'all watch that at all? Archie Bunker.
Yeah,
he was so racist.
A little bit on Nick at Night and stuff.
Archie Bunker was so racist. It was just completely. But so I think all the racist people thought, yeah, he's right on. And all the unracist people thought, oh, he's making so much fun of racists that it appealed to both groups.
Yeah.
And was a show that probably couldn't be done today, though, in what I'm pointing to Kevin now. but yeah, and that's a shame. I do think it's a shame because I think humor you can find humor in anything. When you're being mean, that's when it's a problem. But if you're trying to be humorous, you can find humor at a funeral. I mean, you just can't.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's what I think maybe where I don't know if I was getting here, but this is kind of where y'all have pushed me. And I think I like this it's good that we're more self-aware, but sometimes I think we take in general, people, we're too serious.
We take ourselves too seriously.
Yeah. Like I can get that Michael Scott's jokes to Oscar about gay and stuff is inappropriate, but they're funny. That's this coming from a guy that it doesn't bother me the same, but I just think at times we take ourselves too serious about everything, and people are looking for a reason to complain on Twitter instead of just looking for a reason to laugh.
I think there is like this is a really interesting subject to like we could probably go for days on because like I think like when you think about I used this one word when I was in high school a lot. I don't want to use it now. It's a word for a gay person that starts with an F, derogatory.
Right.
And so I found out when I got to college that while I was never intending it to mean the actual name of the people that it's making fun of, I was just using it as like a derogatory word for anybody that I was just like making fun of in any way. Mm-hmm. And then I realized how much it hurt somebody that had been called that and beat up and, knocked around or whatever, with that word being the reason behind it. And so, like to some degree, it's like, whatever, it's a word and words have no power that we don't give them. But on the other hand, it's hard to like argue against like somebody actually felt pain connected to this and you're making them remember it every time you jokingly use it. And so it's like, it is a tough thing too, because like, you should be allowed to use any word that you want. And everybody's going to be hurt by something. So like, what are you going to do? Draw the line at only using positive words? Like negative words are fun.
Yeah, they're fun. That's exactly right.
So it's tough. I mean, it's really tough. Like, how do you draw the line of like, well, if it only offends like, 70 people on the internet, then like, okay, whatever, that's no big deal. But if it offends 100,000 people, it's a big deal. And I mean, where's the line then? Like, it's a tough question. I think that we definitely like have both sides go too far the other way, where it's like, I'll use any word I want. I don't care what you think. And then the other side is like, well, just calm down. Don't use that word. That's not okay. And
like at the end of the day, I'm like, why do I need to use something that may really offend someone? Like I find a different word to use. I used to, like you were saying, when I was younger, we would sometimes say like, oh, that show's gay. And it wasn't, it had nothing to do with sexuality at all. And then I realized later, like, oh, that could really bother someone. Like, why? Find a different word. Just call that show dumb, call that show.
Right. Exactly.
Well, and me and my buddies sometimes will go, I can tell you're gay. And then just follow up anything, just.
Well, and that's, what is that, 40-year-old virgin?
40-year-old virgin.
There's like a whole 3.5 minute skit on that.
So, but it was funny. That skit was funny. But I mean, I understand why some people get offended about that. But
You know, speaking of, we were talking about the office and that made me think of jobs and stuff. Another thing I've thought about, probably one of the worst jobs to have would be like an air conditioned repairman.
Oh, yeah.
Because you go into
Never
a shitty, hot, sticky house and you fix it. And then right as the air comes on and it's getting better, time to go to another shitty, hot, sticky house. You know, that's got to be a terrible job. And then that made me think of those people probably need like some good deodorant because it's always sweating and nasty. But who was the first person that thought of like deodorant? You know, like at one point we all just stunk and had musty, and it probably didn't even realize it smelled bad because everyone was kind of had some must to them. And someone was like, you know what would be cool if we didn't smell like ass? Like, let's get some. I wonder who was the person that thought of that.
Well, you know, so on this, I know it's not body odor, but I do know something about odor and people that. So Listerine created the idea of halitosis. Before Listerine, nobody cared about stinky breath. Like it wasn't even a thing you registered. You didn't think like, well, she's cute, but like, have you smelled her breath? Like that just never crossed your mind.
Think about it,
right? Because nobody had 4 centuries.
No, have you ever smelled skank breath? It's like, I mean, it's
but like now we've refined and like decided like that's not okay, and we also have like solution. Back then it was like you brush your teeth with baking soda, so it's not like you're gonna smell minty fresh ever.
Why are you backing away from me? Do I have stinky?
No, I thought I was hogging the mic for a second, like I was all over it.
Now you're making me all feel bad. Maybe I got skank breath over there.
Well, I wish you would get a piece of gum in your mouth. But
Dan and Kevin are going to do the rest of this podcast with their hands over their mouth just in case. But no. So they like way back in the day when they were getting started as a company, they invented the slogan "Always the bridesmaid, never the bride" to make women feel bad about their breath stinking, so then they could sell products. And so, you know, like to some degree, maybe before, like you think about like back in the medieval times, people took baths in dirty water and took maybe a bath a month or something like that. Like nobody cared because there was nothing you could do about it. So nobody thought, oh, well, it's unattractive to be this way because everybody's this way.
Well, and to go off that a little bit, I've heard a theory, which I've not tried it, but somebody I used to work with way back in the day told me that they don't wash their hair with like shampoo and conditioner because they were like, your hair naturally creates oil and it cleans itself and you just need water. And then these companies made shampoo, which now we're dependent on shampoo. Like once you start using it, your hair and your body depends on it to kind of clean everything.
Yeah. Well, that's
how
I feel about
I quit using it. Chapstick's one of those too.
And shampoo, I disagree. Chapstick, I agree.
Well, I'm not saying I don't. I wash my hair every day, and that's why I told him. I was like, actually, and some people wash every other day and stuff like that. But chapstick's one of those, and it's about. We were talking about the weather. It's right at this time of the weather where I'm trying to hold off on using any chapstick because once you use it one time,
then you
better keep it in your pocket.
I haven't used chapstick in like 10 years.
You just don't use it?
And then I'll have like maybe 1 or 2 days a year where it's like, some chapstick might be nice. But like, generally my lips don't worry about me making sure that I apply something to them to make them feel better.
Well, have you ever ate like a real good spicy taco when your chips are real chapped up?
Yeah.
That hurts. That's painful.
Yeah.
Your lips are just
But
on
I don't
fire.
get as chapped up. I think that, authentically, I don't get as chapped up because I haven't used it in 10 years. I just don't use it.
Well, and you do always get your lips get more chapped up after you start using chapstick every time.
It's got like some secret ingredient that you start using it, you have to have it. I don't know.
Yeah.
So you don't think there's any credence to the shampoo thing though? Like,
well, I mean, I think probably we use shampoo. You probably should shampoo every other day. You probably should let your hair, because it does have some oils that it needs to do.
That's what Hannah tells me. Yeah.
If I don't wash my hair, like so we went to the river this weekend and I realized I didn't take a shower since Thursday morning.
Well, everyone else realized.
so Saturday night, finally, I was like, oh, my hair was like, grease pockets, I was grody, and apparently it was obvious to everyone else. But so, I think that it is good for you not to take a bath maybe every day. I think it dries out your skin, but man, I don't know, about every other day for sure. I gotta take a shower.
Yeah.
Wash my hair.
Fair enough.
That's me.
Hey, El, can you explain to me what happens like when poison expires? Does it get more poisonous? Or is it now not poisonous anymore because it's expired?
Actually, I think I do know the answer to this, is that the active ingredient in the poison probably loses its effectiveness in the same way that like if an Advil expires, then it's not going to cure headaches very well because it's just going to be like dead.
So medicine. If a poison expires, is it no longer poisonous or more?
It's going to be less dangerous probably. It'll be closer to water.
You think?
Well, like if it was a poison to kill ants, I bet it wouldn't kill as many ants after it expires as it would have before it expired.
Okay, so y'all are probably thinking about it more logically. I'm thinking of like a witch with her poison.
Right. Well,
does the witch put expiration dates on her poison? Does she?
Well, maybe does everything have an expiration? I guess not everything.
I don't think witches put expiration dates on.
I don't know. When's the last time you talked to one?
Well,
that's a fair point. But that end supports my argument. There's just not a lot around. I mean,
that we know of.
I'll tell you what. I'll try next time I am around a witch. I'll ask her about that, and I will get you the answer from the source.
Okay, here I got a question for you guys. I told you since we're going on, since the theme of this podcast is kind of just stuff that goes through Kevin's head, it could go anywhere at any time. Like there's no turn that you can expect. But here's my question: is honey a sauce?
Sauce?
Like a sauce?
I mean, define sauce.
I don't know.
They put honey in barbecue, and honey barbecue sauce is a sauce.
So my first thought was a sauce is something you dip, like you dip your chicken finger into.
Not necessarily.
Okay, like what were you?
Spaghetti sauce is a sauce.
Okay, that does hinder me because I was going to say maybe is honey a spread, not a sauce. Because you spread it onto things.
So then that opens up, is jam a sauce or is gravy a sauce?
Is jam just jelly or are there two different things?
What is the difference between jam and jelly? What is?
So I'm not the only one. I thought this was just going to be dumb Kevin here.
All right. Let me
explain it to not just explain it to Kevin. Explain it to Liv and Kevin.
I know a terrible joke. I'll tell you when we get done recording. Anyway, let's see. What's the difference between jam and jelly?
I would be inclined, while you're looking that up, I would be inclined to think honey could be a sauce.
Why so? Why do you say that?
Well, because it pours like a sauce. I mean, you could certainly dip it. You could pour
very slowly.
Certainly, but
it's viscous.
I like sauces with some viscosity to them. You know,
ketchup is viscous. That's hard to pour. So,
and I mean, you can dip a chicken nugget in honey.
Yeah.
Honey's good, and honey does not expire. I mean, there's no.
Speaking of expiration dates,
no expiration date on honey.
You sure?
Don't have to. Refrigerate.
Bees are superheroes.
Nothing.
That's like the superfood of humanity.
Yeah, and you need to eat the local honey because
it'll help you fight off
the local diseases. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like
allergens,
the local bees don't come after you if you eat local honey.
Oh, I don't know. If
no, I think they might be more apt to.
You got some honey blood.
You smell like home.
Well, you always said you had some like sweet blood, didn't you? Like mosquitoes like you, don't
really
they?
like me. Yes, they do.
Do mosquitoes get worse when it's getting cooler like this, or they worse?
Seem to. When it starts getting a little bit cooler, I think mosquitoes almost get worse. Yes.
Man,
jelly and jam I got for you if you're ready for it.
Yeah.
Lay it on me.
All right. So it just turns out it's kind of like how firm it is at the end and how much fruit is actually in it. And that's how you decide jelly, jam, preservatives, and marmalade. And so it's really just kind of a slight distinction, whereas like jelly is generally kind of like a firm liquid with no physical fruit obvious in it, whereas jam's a little chunkier, a little looser.
Got some pulp in it.
Yeah, got some pulp in it. Marmalade is a lot more pulp, and so are preserves. So
I'm not a big jelly or jam guy. Like don't give me a sausage biscuit and ask if I want jelly. Hell no, I don't want no jelly.
Damn jelly.
I don't know. I could do some. I mean, peanut butter and jelly is like a treat.
Yeah,
so
like a good peanut butter jelly sandwich. I'm all about.
Yeah.
Wait. Is it better if you do how do you do a peanut butter jelly sandwich? Is it like peanut butter on one bread, jelly on one bread, close it? Or do you like to like mix them up pre-spread?
Great question. I have a great answer for you.
I have an answer. Go ahead, LJ.
Well, I do like peanut butter on both sides and a little thick around the walls. So like when you put it together, the jelly, it works with like all sorts of like.
So like my jelly's not falling out onto my lap.
Your honey's not leaking out. Your jelly's not leaking out. Whatever you put in there is a lot more stable. That's my answer.
My answer is I like peanut butter. You get the peanut butter and the jelly and you put it in a bowl and you stir it around till it gets all good and mixed.
I'm
then you get a spoon and you eat it. That's my peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
That's fair.
And you get a spoon and you eat it.
I don't need a bunch of damn bread. I skip the bread.
That's
skip
fair.
those carbs.
That's fair. All right. Fair enough.
There's an art to, and I think we're all can enjoy a good sandwich. There's an art to making a damn good sandwich, even if it's just like 2 pieces of white bread. And so, like, if you're just making some when you get home, like there is something to a good sandwich.
Yeah. No kidding.
I just thought about that when LJ was like, get the walls a little extra peanut butter. Like, and people who know, they know. They're sitting there going, yeah, there's a sandwich and there's a good sandwich.
That's right.
Right. And if you take some time on your sandwich, it's going to pay off. It's
like,
worth.
Hey, like some of my
10% effort,
some of my
20%
buddies,
sandwich.
y'all will know. Maybe not everyone listening will know these people, but like Lane, he doesn't know the art of a good sandwich. He just wants like piece of bread, turkey, and a piece of cheese, and then he closes it up and he eats it. That's just a sandwich for him. And then me and Cody are like, no, sometimes I like to toast my bread a little bit, and then I might even put a little bit of this on there and a little bit of this and
Put a
this
little
kinda gets
oregano
you a
every now and
crunch.
again.
And then like we get all fancy and creative.
What?
Oregano or Tony C's. Put a little Tony C's on
Oh, a
your
little
sandwich.
Tony C's is good.
Seriously.
Sometimes I'll throw a couple chips on there to give it a good crunch. You know, there's sometimes I'll throw
You
yeah,
never
little
drizzle
texture.
like I'm a mayonnaise guy, okay? I mean,
I like
I'm
mayonnaise.
not Miracle Whip, by the way, but I'm mayonnaise.
Agreed.
I like real
Agreed.
mayonnaise, but I like a little drizzle of mustard on my sandwich. I just like a little drizzle of mustard on my mayonnaise.
That only
and
happens
turkey
when you make a sandwich and you're like if you're making two sandwiches and you're like, you want to try a little mustard, because I know you're a sandwich artist. I will
am.
defer to you. Like if you or LJ are asking about another one, Hannah can make
makes
a
a
damn
mean
good
sandwich.
sandwich. But the people that I know, like if Lane asks, you want me to make you a sandwich? Like if he's
No,
making a
you're
sandwich,
like, no.
he's like, you want me to make you like, no, I'll make my own damn sandwich. now, if Hannah says, hey, I'm making a sandwich, you want one?
Yeah.
Yep. Whatever you're putting on it, I
turned
want
down a
it.
Hannah sandwich. I could be totally full, but Hannah offers a sandwich. I'm getting a sandwich. It's
And
gonna
I don't
happen.
have shit. And like if I know who they are, like if one of y'all two or Hannah asks me like, is it okay if I'm whatever you're putting on yours,
Just-
do it
yeah.
for this one too, because I don't question it.
Yeah, fair enough. I like more mustard. To answer the dad's question, I like mustard a lot. So I like Dijon or like fancy mustard.
Do you like mustard as opposed to mayonnaise, or do you need a little mayonnaise on there too?
I will say if I am in a pinch and I am only picking one, which happens periodically because I don't want to get two knives dirty or whatever. Depending on how much effort I'm putting into the sandwich, I'll just do the mustard more than I'll just do the mayonnaise. Sometimes it depends on the day, but I'm more mustard than mayonnaise.
I'm definitely more mayonnaise than mustard.
I'm more mayonnaise than mustard. I just have to have that little drizzle, just a little drizzle.
Yeah,
Maybe
it does
double.
add a little cut to it.
And actually, I mean, I was like, because I drizzle it, so it's almost artistic.
You're almost you probably don't know who this is, but you're almost like the salt guy that drops the salt on the meat. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah. You just
You're
I know this is not great radio, but you.
Do you know who I'm talking about though? The Salt Bay guy. The guy is like he like cuts the meat and he drops the salt on there. I have to show it to you.
Okay.
He drops it like over his elbow. It's kind of funky.
Yeah, he has like a whole thing with
Nah, you have
it.
to show me that.
Yeah.
But you're like that with mustard. You pop open that little yellow mustard thing. And you're like,
See, I'm actually thinking he's more the Jackson Pollock of mustard. He's making a masterpiece.
he's doing
it up
something
in
with this
MoMA.
sandwich.
I mean,
Yeah.
pretty good at it.
Who's got words in general kind of blow my mind.
They're tough.
Like just words are tough. No, like people who decided
Use your
this was
words, Kevin.
called a phone or this was called a pen or a can. Like,
Yeah.
whoever came up with the word lisp is an
Is mean.
asshole.
Lisp?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
why think of people that have a lisp?
They can't say that word.
They can't say the
Yeah, the
word.
lisp.
That's just a total asshole. Whoever
Yeah.
came up with that word.
What? Why is dyslexia such a long, confusing word with different vowels
like-
than you would expect?
Are
at every turn?
there's some guys and gals who are coming up with these words who are sitting there snickering and giggling as they make like, oh, they're gonna have trouble with this word.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, there's someone out there who's just popping out new words knowing in 200 years it's really going to piss some people off.
No, you just wait. It's gonna take a while, but this one's gonna be real funny come 2018.
I've thought about lisp before, but dyslexia is a good one because that is a very difficult word, especially if you're dyslexic. I can only imagine.
I couldn't spell it right now at all. Like, there's no way.
Oh, I couldn't
But-
spell it. No.
Shoot, yeah, dyslexic. You get someone who's dyslexic to try to spell that word, and they look like Alan off Hangover, where there's just like equations going all around his head, and words are just everywhere.
All right.
man.
What else goes on in your head, Kevin?
I got a thing from my head if we want to talk about it at some point. It's
What you got?
real funny
Well,
looking.
I bet the listeners are dying to get out of mine. So yeah,
Well, we can go back to Kevin's in a second, but so I was thinking about how I would describe my job if you didn't know what I did in like the most obscure and useless way ever. And so I'm a sound designer for theater, right? And so what I do is I tell a computer to wiggle the air, and then I sit down and write down, I didn't like the way that the air wiggled right there. And then I go adjust it and make it wiggle differently. That's my job.
I mean, I get what he's saying. He's right because he's doing sound waves in the air, right?
So every time he said wiggle, I don't know if y'all know the song, but all I could think of was that Jason Derulo song where it's like wiggle, 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 like every single time.
But if we wouldn't get sued, I'd add it in there.
The
But
host zoned out when you said wiggle. He's wiggle, 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 woo.
So what you're saying? You said you you tell sound to wiggle and then you write in, I don't like the sound that
I don't
made.
even tell the sound to. I just tell the air to, because that is what sound is wiggling air. So I just tell a machine to tell a cone to wiggle the air in a certain way. And then when I don't like the way that it wiggled, I get on my computer and change it.
Huh. I mean, I think at its core, that is what he does.
That's an apt description.
That's what the dude does.
So, Hannah and I were trying to think of these because we thought it was funny, and I'll tell you hers real quick. She's a production manager, so that means that, like, in layman's terms, that's she connects everybody and makes sure we're all, our due dates and everything like that. And so what her job is she's the string between the cans.
Huh. Like, she connects everyone.
She provides the communication network.
Right. So when we talk, she, like, moves it over to the next person.
Huh.
Yeah.
Can I do one thing in my head?
As many as you'd like.
So, I mean, I came home the other day, and I know
it was sunny too, wasn't it? It was sunny outside because we hadn't hit that bull crap daylight savings shit.
Yeah.
You
can still water the flowers and look at the people that mow the lawn. And
we got one more podcast to Happy Dad, and then after that, it's going to go downhill.
Are you
get ready. We got Cranky Dad coming next week, so I hope y'all are ready. Okay. It's going to be dark and he's going to be cranky. Yeah, what were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So this is what goes on in my head.
So this is what you deal with your
I
sons.
come home and Buddy, is out on the back porch. And you know what Buddy's doing generally when I get home? He's all curled up in a ball on the chair and he's going to sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell he kind of gets up and stretches a little bit. I mean,
he's in a ball right now.
He's in a ball right now.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we'll come in and he'll kind of go sit by the front window and kind of look at things for a little bit while we're cooking dinner or whatever. As soon as I sit down in the chair, though, he can't wait to get up in my lap. He wants to get in my lap. And then you know what he does? He sleeps and he doesn't move. I swear, I think he could sleep 20 hours a day.
There are some days he probably does accomplish that.
But what's weird to me is so I'm taking him up to Little River and play golf with him, and he will run and run and run and run. So, I mean, he can sleep 20 hours a day and then still be as active as like Usain Bolt running around the pitch. I don't know how he could do that. That's just, I'm impressed.
Pocket's the exact same way where she'll sleep for, I swear, the whole 8 hours that we're gone. And then we'll come back and we'll take her outside and then we'll watch Netflix for like a couple hours. She'll sleep that whole time. And then we'll make dinner and she'll sleep that whole time. And then we'll take her out again and we'll be like, are you ready for bed? And then she's pumped. She is ready to go to bed. Like it's the most exciting thing she's ever done. So,
and then she'll sleep all night. Yeah.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
And then she gets up in the next morning. You know what? She goes out to the bathroom and what she does? She goes back to sleep.
Right back to sleep. Yeah. It's amazing.
I mean, so do you think dogs are sleeping all the time when they're sleeping? Like his buddy right now, he's laying back behind us. Is he sleeping or is he just very relaxed? Like how we sit there and watch TV. Like what if Buddy's sitting there going, this dude comes home from sitting at the desk all day working and then he sits on this couch and watches a screen.
That's fair.
Yell at him.
That's fair. So you think they're just like sitting there, eyes closed, just solving all the world's problems, like actually like just thinking through things? And
I don't know if he's sleeping all that because I'm with y'all. Like that is a lot of sleeping. If Buddy is sleeping, or if any of our dogs, I don't have one right now, but like in my past, if they're sleeping as much as it looks like they are, then my God, they are sleeping 90% of the day.
Maybe what their goal is to find that, because when you get that good sleep, I mean that good sleep, that good
when you wake up and there's a dent in your face.
Oh man,
stuff.
You wake up and the alarm wakes you up. You didn't wake up to go pee one time last night. You didn't none of that. And by the way, when you wake up in the middle of the night, you think you got to go pee, you might as well go do it right then.
Yeah, right.
Because you're going to just sit there and think about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So go on and do it. Yep. Anyway,
you're right about that. Yeah.
From earlier.
More lessons from Dad. He just always sprinkles a little more important.
I'm pretty good at pissing. I've done it for a long time.
So do you think dogs are sleeping all the time?
I mean,
I think they are too.
I think
there are animals that require that much sleep. Like I think sloths might sleep for 20 hours a day.
Sloths have some of
one of
them sleep like crazy, like have to get 20 hours. Like we need 7 or 8, they need 20 hours.
Have you ever like tried to sleep for 12 hours, 14 hours? I wake up miserable when I do it.
You wake up what?
Like miserable. My back is aching. I've got a headache.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted. Like I'm usually tired after I wake up after 14 hours.
You can sleep so much it like wears you out. It sounds dumb, but like I can sleep for.
It's real.
Some days, like I haven't got much sleep at all, and finally, I got a day where I don't have shit to do the next day, so I'm about to sleep. And I wake up and I'm like, I should be like wired. All this sleep should have me wired and full of energy. And 3 hours later, I'm like, I could use a nap bad.
Yeah.
Well, and it's kind of like a nap. I'm telling you, you can take too long a nap.
What's the ideal nap?
For me, the ideal nap is probably about 45 minutes, Probably
I can
about
get behind. I
45
thought you were going
minutes.
to, I just kind of was going to guess you would say like 25. And I thought that was a little short.
45 might be
about
too
right.
long. I mean, but I need to probably 30 to 45
Because
minutes.
if you accidentally mess around and get a 90-minute nap,
Oh,
you
you're
might as well
toast.
go to sleep because
Yeah.
now you're just tired.
You're done.
One and that's my problem too. Is I can't like fall asleep very easily. Like it takes me forever, so I can't really set an alarm for a nap. So I'm gonna sleep until like it's too late. It's 90-minute nap for me or no nap. I don't take very many naps because I can't do it unless like Hannah's home and she can be like, oh, you've been asleep for like 30 minutes and then she'll wake me up. But other than that, it's bad news.
Speaking of, we were talking about dogs and sleeping this weekend when we went up to the river. Buddy was with us, and there's just, I don't know if there's anything worse than when your pup gets sick.
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
we don't know. So Buddy got into something over the weekend and he ate something and he was, I think he threw up, what, 3 times? You woke up?
4 times. You threw up in your room one time too.
And it sucks because you know whatever it is, he's not happy. He's hurting. You don't know what exactly to fix it, and he doesn't. You want to get mad at him because like he threw up on the couch, and Dad's like, "Damn!" But
Yeah.
also it's
You
not
know
like
he didn't mean to.
Yeah, it's not like if he pissed somewhere. Like his stomach is hurting, and then
Yeah.
we realized we didn't have water in this bowl when we woke up, so we felt kind of bad for that too.
I think he ate something spicy, and I think it stirred up his stomach. That's why he drank all his water. Poor little.
But like you'll
Yeah.
see that when a dog gets like when they get diarrhea, or just when a dog's real sick and they're doing stuff in the house, and it does kind of piss you off that you're pissing on or shitting or throwing up on the carpet. But also you're like, well, I do feel bad because my man Buddy is hurting. He's clearly in some pain.
Well,
I don't know, it just sucks.
I can tell you this, having kids of my own, even when y'all threw up on the carpet, it pissed me off. I knew you didn't feel good, but it's like, please get to the
just
toilet.
make it to the toilet.
Please.
I will say on that, the moment you grow up, I think, is the moment you have to clean up your own sick. Like that's when you have made it to adulthood.
When you realize how vital it is, like you are trying your hardest next time you throw up to get to that toilet.
If you don't,
when we're younger, we're like, I threw up. Throwing up just sucks wherever you are. It doesn't matter if it's on the toilet cart. But then when you get a little older, like LJ said, you realize throwing up sucks. Throwing up and having to clean it really sucks.
That's worse. Yeah.
And you can't let that sit. Like you can't just like Kevin's like, oh, I missed a little bit. I'm gonna clean it up in the morning.
You got to deal with
that.
You can't just throw a towel over, throw up, and wait for tomorrow.
I've had a roommate try, so
We got to move on. This is bad. We got to move on.
I wanted to just say, this is not necessarily where this is a fun podcast, but like if you ever feel like you need to kill somebody to get a point across, then you are a bad human being.
Are we in reference to the thing at the synagogue in Pittsburgh?
My heart goes out to the any Jewish person that feels scared to go to their synagogue now. That's the worst. I mean, even Slim Charles like lost his mind in The Wire when they tried to shoot at Omar on a Sunday morning. Like you just don't do that to people. And then also that nut job trying to send bombs to people. Like if you ever think the best way to get my ideas out there is to kill somebody, you need to not ever be talking ever again. Like you might have a decent idea or two, but I'm never going to listen to you. It's just not acceptable.
Yeah, that was shitty news to wake up to. I don't remember what day that happened. I think we woke up Saturday and saw it.
Saturday. Yeah.
We're at Little River and just trying to have a good time. You don't even watch much TV, but that popped up just on notification, like through AP News or whatever on my iPhone. I was just like, man, like I didn't spend a lot of time thinking about it because we were just having a good weekend, but that's just shitty.
I mean, this was a 46-year-old dude, and if a 46-year-old dude doesn't understand how precious life is, then he's wasted 46 years.
Well, and your point, I think, is better. What I like the most is, one, just that obviously you're not realizing how precious life is. But now, for anyone out there that has to feel a little nervous about going to the synagogue, like their synagogue, that's terrible. I'm with you.
Yeah. We just did Anne Frank as a play. We just did a show about the Holocaust. And one of the things, we talked about is like, because there's a lot of Jewish people in that community. And so, a lot of people like me don't realize how anti-Semitism is still very real. And, they were saying like, you may not see it, but like I got called this recently and I got called this recently. And, moments like this, it's just like, it's Anne Frank's struggles are not gone. They're still reflected in today, and it's really sad. So,
well, I got a really cool story to tell you guys before we sign off. Then kind of end it on a high note,
man.
So this kid named Matt Colburn, I think he's a junior now at Wake Forest, running back.
Okay.
Back in 2015, he had a scholarship offered to go play at Louisville for Dad's favorite head coach, Bobby Petrino.
Yeah.
And 48 hours before the kid's like ready to, he's going to sign it on signing day. He's already like cut off his recruitment. He's committed and he can't wait to go to Louisville. And 48 hours before signing day, Petrino takes his scholarship away and says, by the way, we filled our scholarships. We're giving it to someone else instead, which is one, just shitty. There's some crappy stuff that goes on with college coaches where if a better kid that they like more, it says he'll come, all of a sudden now they're like, oh, even though I told this kid he could come to Louisville, I like him better. And that happens way more often than we realize probably.
Right.
But so this kid in 2015, this happened to him and he went to Wake Forest instead. And so then yesterday, Wake Forest traveled to Louisville and in front of Bobby Petrino in Louisville, Mr. Matt Colburn went for 20 carries, 243 yards and 3 touchdowns. And you got it. I bet that felt so like any 200-yard, 3 touchdown game would feel good for a running back. But that one felt real good, I bet.
Yeah.
And you don't have to say anything to Bobby Petrino. You're just like, all right, what's up?
Point proven.
Buy it, Petrino.
Yeah, that was just cool. And then I just thought about it because Petrino, I do think he's not a terrible coach. I think he's a decent coach, but
and I'm not sure he's
not
a great person.
I'm not. Yeah, so I didn't hate to see that happen to old Bobby P, old neck brace Bobby. So we can probably end this sucker how we normally end the Sunday pods, and it's all three of us here. And I know you did some driving this week. I don't know if you got anything on the top of your dome, but what do y'all been listening to? You got one, L, or
see if I just got one? Let me think.
All right.
Well, I've actually got two. I got two. First off, I want to say from Hannah and I, thank you, Dad, because we got to go see
let me hear
baddest ass show.
Was it
we
great?
Got to see, we got to see. So it was Big Frida and Tankin' the Bangas and a band called Naughty Professor, and that was a hell of a show. It was so much fun. Everybody there was having a great time. Like, we loved it. It was a great night. We went out to eat too. We like date nighted it. It was wonderful. So
good.
So
we were talking about it. We did talk about
that just the other day.
We were both excited about it that y'all were getting to go. That was cool.
Man, we were sitting there and we were both like, this is exactly what I expected it to be in every good way. Like, we were just sitting there. I swear to God, roller coasters came on and I turned to Hannah with a tear in my eye already forming and said, is this what I think it is? And she was already just like screaming. It was amazing.
And anyone, I know they're kind of obscure and a lot of people may not know. You've probably heard us talk about them, but if you haven't watched their Tiny Desk, Tankin' the Bangas Tiny Desk is an all-timer. Yeah. It's a good one.
Have we got a link of that on our...
It's on one of our show notes. We can put it again this week.
We can put it in this one too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can put that on every single show notes for all I care. It's just good.
Because Tank is just adorable. I mean, she is... I mean, and she's not... I mean, she might wrestle you if you're not careful, but she is adorable. I mean...
Well, and the backup singer in that, Jelly... doesn't always go around with Taking the Bangas, but she was there. It was just everybody was there because they're like kind of a collective where it's just like whoever can make it to this show can make it to this show. And they had everybody that I recognized. And also Big Frida puts on a hell of a show. Like, you might question your masculinity while watching this big cross-dressing man just like jam out there, but it is so much fun. It is such a show. But yeah, it was amazing. And then I guess the other what I'm listening to, I mentioned this to Kevin off air, but there's this other Tiny Desk that we watched recently called the artist is Kishibashi, who did Honey Body, which we listened to relatively recently.
Right.
And when you like see a magician say that they didn't understand how the trick was done, you know that it's a good trick. I have no idea how he did this show. It was I don't know what he did. Like it was
amazing.
Yeah, I don't even know if everybody would appreciate it as much as I did, but I was sitting there in awe. Like, how did you make that sound? It's just one guy and his violin, and it's unbelievable. So, it's weird. It's worth a listen. Seriously. So that's me.
That's the Tiny Desk I want to go check out because I've heard LJ. We talked about it last weekend, and I still haven't got around to listen to it.
This is Kishi.
Mm-hmm. Kishibashi.
Okay.
So, what I've been listening to, and this is something I'm kind of ashamed that it's taken this long for me to get around. It's one of those, and I do this with movies and sometimes with music too, where I know a bunch of my buddies have said Heat's a good movie, and Heat's got a really good IMDb score. It's got Al Pacino. I know it's probably good. I know I like it.
Yeah.
But I just haven't got around to it. And so sometimes I have that same thing with music. And one of them was Miss Lauryn Hill. I've heard her name all the time, and people talk about how good she is. And so the other day I was like, I'm just going to throw that on. So I got on Spotify and listened to, what's her big album?
The Miseducation.
The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. My goodness. I'm upset that I waited this long.
Yep.
And you can tell that it's impacted music after it. Like it's a good album. She is amazing. That I just was really impressed by it. And I was like, I cannot believe I'm just now listening to this.
Yeah. Okay, so this is kind of a fun thing that happens when you not fun at all, listen to like something old or watch something old, is you like then realize that like it didn't go as far as you want. Like Lauryn Hill stopped making music, so you're not going to get to ever hear new Lauryn Hill. Yeah. Or like, you watch like a really good show that got canceled, but you find out like once you've started enjoying this show, they got canceled like 7 years ago and you're not going to ever know how it's supposed to end or whatever. Yeah. Like that's rough. That's a rough time.
Well, and it was interesting to me, especially so like it's kind of like the game we play with you where stuff gets sampled and knowing whether that was the original. And there's just stuff from that album that I've heard sampled throughout hip hop. Yeah. In my listening today, I'm like, oh, that's on this song. Oh, that's on this song. Yeah. And I'm like, so clearly, and that's why I have heard that a lot about Lauryn Hill. And I don't really know her or didn't know her until this week that well. But isn't that kind of the big, not big gripe, but people are just like, man, I wish Lauryn Hill had more music.
Yeah. I mean, you can't, it's hard to fault her for not wanting to anymore. But like, man, she put so much beauty into the world when she decided to sing. Like it was a thing that happened for sure.
So that's what I jammed at work. I think on Wednesday, and then on the way down here, it's some good stuff. And it's kind of cool that on Spotify, she's not just Lauryn Hill, it's Miss Lauryn Hill. I thought that was cool. Yeah. That you sound like you don't really have just.
No, I'm gonna need your help with this because we were out messing around.
It's golf again.
Playing golf, but not so much. And
whoa, Dad, talking golf?
You were too. And we put on the On the Road with Dad playlist.
So that's a banger.
What hit you? I mean, I remember I don't know, Rage Against the Machine. I remember that.
What really got what really kind of when it played, I was like, yes, it was Magic Man came on.
Hard Magic Man.
Yeah, okay. And I was like, here we go. I can jam to that.
Magic Man. That's what I was listening to. We played that a couple of times. We backed that up.
I think that played, and then Boston played, and that I thought of that whole CD, right? Like those two songs, and then the whole playlist is good. But yeah, Magic Man was jamming, and me and Dad were just in the podcast jamming.
Heart, we haven't said Heart on here. Heart's a good one. So
Heart is good.
Heart was one of the best rock and roll bands.
I don't know if I know any of them
fronted by two women, Ann and Nancy Wilson. Yeah, but, I mean, just jamming Heart.
I'm telling you, if you start him, he'll give some lessons out. He's got some trivia. Get your Big Chief Indian bat out and listen.
Hey, if you want a trivia night partner, Old Liff might be the guy to have.
I'm pretty decent at old music. So, y'all
got anything else y'all want to throw out?
No, we're good.
I think there's some good football going on. By the way, speaking of football, if you're listening and you want to bet some money, win some money, we're still like always.
I'm thinking about betting on the game Monday night. Where would I go?
A good place to do it would be head on over to MyBookie and type in .ag.
Okay,
but actually, if you put in
my thing
.com,
is, I don't have a lot of money though. Like, is there any way you could like lend me some?
Well, see, here's the thing. I can't personally, but if you go in there and you put JPP in, they will match your deposit dollar for dollar.
So if I put not only that $10 I've got, they'll give me 20?
They'll match it. Yeah, they'll match it.
What?
And then if you put in the JPP, there's actually an extra code. And I don't know how much longer this one's going to go since we're at week 8 of the NFL season. And we're kind of getting into the second half of college football. So they might start taking these promos away. But if you put JPP 25, they'll go dollar for dollar plus an extra $25. But they're just giving you $25. Just giving it to you. And I will say, LJ, if you're going to go bet on Monday Night Football, probably wouldn't put my money on the Bills. But just saying, they're playing the Patriots. Now that I say that, I think this will come out Tuesday morning. Watch the Bills beat them or something. Yeah, right.
Well,
but if you're a listener to the JPP, go into MyBookie. I know there's some other places that do some promo, but put ours in. We need the love. We need to let them know that our people are out there, which maybe they won't want to know this because they'll know these are the people that listen to Uncle Tony throw out picks and they're just robbing MyBookie blind. But I think that'll do it for me this week, guys. It was cool getting to record with you in person finally, Pops. I know I'm still waiting on the time where we all three get to sit down in the studio and just throw it out and just have fun.
We've teased that like 4 times now. We got to do it.
It's got to happen.
Maybe we'll do it over the holidays sometime. You reckon?
It's got to happen at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
We'll try to do it over.
There could be an opportunity, and maybe we just put one in the vault, because we could record one like this where we're just talking some BS and having fun, and we just record it, and it might not have to drop right after we do it. We'll record one, and it might drop in a week or two, or you never know.
We'll see what our holiday schedules look like. We'll find out.
But I think that'll do it for this week. You can catch us a little later in the week talking some football. But that's it for me, guys. Y'all got anything?
For me.
Peace.
All right. Peace out.
Peace out.
Zero.
Yeah.
We're clapping.
Oh, which one?
Zero. And count down from 3
When you say 0.
when I say 0.
Okay.
He's just going to clap every time.
No, when he says 0, not when I say 0.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Well, we're like in sync on my end.
Are we? Well, you were a little behind
obviously
us.
gonna be in sync.
Okay, yeah, I just realized
If we're
how
not
bad that was.
If we're not in sync, then something's wrong with me and Dad.